Welcome to Rik and That Michelle Chick. I'm That Michelle Chick.
And I'm Rik. How you doing this afternoon?
I'm well. How are you?
Well, I know that I don't know what you had on the agenda this time around, but boy, we've had some celebrity passings that we definitely want to touch on at least a little bit. So I don't know how you want to start this podcast. Usually you have a few ideas. So I'm here to listen, and then I will chat back at you.
Oh, you're not here to listen. Yes, I did want to touch on that because let's see, Ozzy Osbourne passed away at the age of 76, which is weird to me because wasn't he just at that farewell concert on July 5th? And he looked pretty good. I mean, all things considered, don't get me wrong. He has like some pretty major health issues.
He had Parkinson's. Amazing that.
Right, but he looked pretty darn good.
Well, he didn't. I mean, he was on his throne, so he wasn't moving around. He wasn't, he's like, no. I mean, I think if you could, not that we wanted Ozzy to pass away, but if you couldn't have scripted a better farewell. Like you couldn't have scripted it, like literally. And I saw videos. I wasn't there, but I saw videos of "Mama, I'm Coming Home" and all these great songs that Ozzy does, and so literally, you get to go out on your own terms. Not a bad life if you think about it.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. You get to go out doing the thing that you love, not just homesick, wasting away in a bed the last however many months.
I mean, I was thinking about, wow. I mean, I don't think you could have scripted it any better than that. I've often talked about if I was going to go in my sleep, there's three things I think. I want to go peacefully, like in my sleep. Number two, if I'm going to pass away, I want to pass away on the air. Like literally I'm talking and then there's a big thud, thud and I'm gone.
No, that would be traumatic for the rest of us.
Or having sex. So that's it. Those are my three. I looked at those are my three options of my final days on this planet. So for Ozzy doing what he's loved to do, you got to give the guy credit. And man, the Facebook today has just been nothing but Ozzy tributes. And are you a big Ozzy fan?
Not really. I do like Crazy Train. Who doesn't love that song? But I'm not a huge metal music lover fan unless it's a rock ballad. I'm a sucker. I'm a woman, so I love a good rock ballad.
Mama, I'm Coming Home is amazing. Mama, I'm Coming Home. That was a massive.
Yeah, I mean that one's good, but he's just never been one of the musicians that I've listened to. I think that might be because growing up, my aunt was always, it's satanic music.
Oh, of course,
it's the devil's music, and so I think I just kind of steered clear of it a little bit, maybe subconsciously. I don't know because I don't necessarily believe that, but I think maybe that kind of got in my head.
Yeah, same with Kiss. got the same rap and Led Zeppelin and all of them. I look at Close Your Eyes Forever with Lita Ford. That's an Ozzy song. They do it.
I do like that song.
Yeah, that's a great song. For me, Shot in the Dark is my number one Ozzy song. If you're asking, what my Ozzy song is, I know everybody's gonna go Crazy Train and all the other big hits. Well, and of course you've got Iron Man from Black Sabbath. My recollection, I did not know it at the time, but I was probably 10 years old. And my stepbrother, when we moved back to with my father, there was a bunch of stepkids as well as us. And I remember smoke rolling. I remember smoke, weed, the smell of smoke weed from my stepbrother, Ramon. And of course, it was Iron Man, Black Sabbath while they're smoking dope downstairs. So for a 10-year-old, that was one of my vivid memories of growing up with some Ozzy Osbourne. I did not know it was Ozzy at the time. I just knew it was Black Sabbath. And then, I was like, it's like an amazing career. And I was thinking, and I thought part of the podcast we could talk about is, are you affected by celebrity passings? Because we just had, we just had Theo from
Malcolm Jamal Warner at the age of 54 while on vacation
in Costa Rica. And I'm a year older than he is. And we grew up on the Cosby Show. So it's like, these are right in these are right in our generation. These are right in our wheelhouses.
Yes.
So, but have you ever, I look back and I'm like, there have been a ton of passings where I felt, oh, that's sad. Or, oh, I can't believe that person passed away. Now, there are people that cry, like literally cry. So have you ever, for a celebrity that has passed, have you actually cried that you can recall?
Probably George Michael.
Oh, that was a big one. Yeah.
That one hit me. I loved his music growing up, and that one was really, it was Christmas Day, and it was just kind of shocking in that sense. I remember when Michael Jackson passed, we were on an airplane coming back from Disneyland, our family vacation, and we were in the airport. And, they had the TV monitors on, no volume, obviously, but it was on CNN. And the little ticker along the bottom of the screen said Michael Jackson dies. And at first I thought it was some kind of weird joke, but it's like, It's on CNN. What kind of joke is this going to be? So it's just weird things like that. You don't expect Michael Jackson to pass away or George Michael because they're all younger. And in our minds, they're going to live forever. They are our idols or part of our youth. And so then that makes the reality of our dying real.
And it could happen to any one of us. Yeah.
Right. But in our minds, we're not going to die tomorrow. I mean, we're just not.
Let's hope not. But I was just trying to, because we were just too young for Elvis. I know when Elvis passed away. So, but that was
hit
77.
My mom. I remember her crying. Yeah.
But I was 7. So, I mean, I knew who Elvis was, but it doesn't
3,
emotionally touch you. Yeah. Right. Same with John Lennon. I was 10 when John Lennon passed away. So, and I always tell people the Beatles are the greatest rock band of all time, or the Beach Boys. Brian Wilson recently passed away. These are all amazing, but I wasn't emotionally, I guess, affected. I mean, I know the music. I like the music, but it wasn't like I was just like my whole being wasn't wrapped up in these celebrities, if it makes sense. For me, a big one, I don't know if I would cry, but I'm a big Michael J. Fox fan. So, and I know he's got Parkinson's. Christopher Reeve, I mean, ton of these for my own. I was going to say,
did the original Superman just
No, I mean, that's why I'm always curious. Like, it's like, I feel, you see it and you go, oh, that's sad. But I can't recall any time where I ever broke down in tears, I guess. I mean, over my own dog or a family member. Sure. I've cried. And then, I always think it's weird when you don't cry, when you want to cry and you don't cry. Everybody else around you is crying and you're not crying. Like, oh my God, am I a sociopath?
Well, no, I mean, just
I should be crying.
People grieve differently. And sometimes in that moment, I think people it's either a defense mechanism or it hasn't really hit you, that reality, even though people around you are crying or upset, but in your mind, it just isn't real. It still isn't real for you at that moment.
And the good news, to know that you're healthy is that I'm not a sociopath. When my foster dad passed away, absolutely, I cried. When my foster mom passed away, people that I had really deep emotional ties to, definitely. I do recall one of my favorite stories to tell people is when I was 8 years old, watching Archie Bunker, All in the Family. My foster mom loved to watch Archie Bunker and All in the Family. And Edith passed away on the TV show. The character passed away. And I was 8 years old at the time, and I thought she literally passed away. Her name, Jean Stapleton, is the actress. But I thought she passed away. And then 20 years later, I'm watching TV, and I'm like, what the hell? There's Edith. She just quit the show. But when you're 8 years old, you don't correlate death. I did not correlate. I thought, oh, this person really passed away in real life at 8 years old. So that was I think my first recollection of somebody passing away. I know it's kind of funny that it's a TV character, but and then I saw a reunion where her and Carol Connor, and they were on like Rosie or something like that. I'm like, son of a bitch, she's alive. And then she didn't even have the accent. You know how she sounded all dingbatty?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. She doesn't even sound that. She don't even sound like that. And she's this amazing.
You're even more mad about that.
No, I was like, and you discover that she's this amazing Broadway actress and vocalist and all this. What? Anyway, childhood destroyed. So yeah, the sad passing of, I feel like, of Theo. Malcolm. I loved him on The Resident. I mean, he had a resurgence in his. The cool thing about him, he had a resurgence in his career.
Right, so he was just on 911. Yeah. My daughter Shaylee makes me watch the show, and he was just on this last season of it. And
he's
when
really
I said,
good.
"Oh, look, it's Malcolm Jamal Warner from The Cosby Show. She had no idea what I was talking about. No clue.
And I think of all the kids, I mean, they're all still doing stuff, but he's really acting still.
Right. He's kind of maintained his career since The Cosby Show ended with various projects. So.
Yeah, he did a 90s sitcom on the UPN network. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but it was kind of a guy dude show kind of thing. So, it's called Malcolm and Eddie.
Yes. I was going to say Malcolm in the Middle, but that's the other Malcolm show.
Malcolm and Eddie, right. So, I mean, these are two big, childhood for us growing up. You really feel it. But again, it goes back to, are you going to cry? Now, normally in radio, we do big tributes.
Mm-hmm.
So, so the minute that I was on the air today and the minute that I heard that Ozzy had passed away, I ran over to the other building and let Paul know, hey, Ozzy sadly passed away. And it's time to get out the Ozzy Osbourne song montage.
Aww.
So, well, that's kind of what we do at radio. But I remember big ones. Johnny Cash passing away. That was a big deal. Being on the air, different things like that. Whitney, like you said, George Michael, Prince, Michael Jackson. These are all big from our childhood. So again, just to see these artists pass away, and it does, like you said, it makes your own mortality in your. And I also have said this, interesting enough too, is it doesn't matter how much money you have. Like you could be a billionaire, you could be Elon Musk, you can be Jeff Bezos, and I don't care what you got, you're not going to outrace time, or you're not going to outrace Steve Jobs. Another great example.
That's what I was just going to say. Look at Steve Jobs. He had cancer, and no amount of money could help him in the end.
Yeah, no amount of, and it truly is how you live. Like you have to. I feel like you have to be, you have to acknowledge that that this is finite. This life is finite. So what can you do on the planet to do at least a little bit good before you leave the planet? So that's why I've never understood hate and anger. And like when you see people online that are totally going at each other, I'm like, oh my gosh, you're 85 years old. I mean, what? Like your days are numbered. Why are you sitting here on the internet fighting with some unknown person about politics?
Right.
But maybe that's all that they have. At the end of the day, maybe that's all they have. I just don't find those things worth it. Getting into an argument about what side you're on or what you believe.
Yeah, which is kind of like why I decided to try to start a nonprofit, because in my mind, I'm like, okay, how do I want the last half of my life to look?
Yeah.
I'm done raising all these kids and they're great people, but what do I want my like true legacy besides my kids? Because they are your true legacy that you leave behind, who they are as people.
Oh, gosh, I'm in trouble.
Like, what do you want? What do I want?
Logan, I needed a
Logan
second.
is a good kid. He listens to our podcast.
I need a second. I needed a second, kid. Shouldn't have got the vasectomy. I need a second.
Oh, no.
No, I've got Kyra. I've got Kyra, my stepson. I got Logan. They're doing good. I'm joking, but
yeah. So that in my mind, that, was my thought. Like, what do I want to contribute to this earth or this planet in some way? Like, sure, it might not matter to other people, but it's going to matter to me, or it might matter to one person or two people, and hopefully they'll live on, and that's how I'm going to live on. Does that make sense?
I mean, I don't want to get morbid, but to me, it's like it's I feel like all the great stories that you carry, there was a great newspaper feature when I was a kid growing up in the Lewiston Morning Tribune, and it was called Everybody Has a Story. And this guy would go out, his name was, I'm not crying.
Yeah, right. You want to drink my coffee?
Oh, my coffee, my water's upstairs.
Oh no.
That's all right. Anyway, it was called Everybody Has a Story.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was fascinating, even as a kid growing up reading that. It was once a week article, and the reporter would pick somebody random out of the phone book, and then he would interview. And then he would interview. Yeah, he'd just call him out of the phone book. Like he'd go through the phone book and just say Joe Smith, and he'd call Joe Smith, and then he'd get Joe Smith's story. And the feature was everybody has a story. And so, you ever think about, like, for me, I think one of the reasons why I wrote my book that I did about being a foster kid, about my foster parents, that was so important to me. That like you said, what happens to those stories?
Right. Yeah. I mean, our kids aren't going to tell them. So, yeah, you have to get them out. You have to tell them. You have to hope that somebody that you made a difference in their life goes on and talks about you.
Yeah.
Which is funny that you say like everybody has a story, because when the kids were little growing up, we'd see homeless people and they would say, "Oh, look at that homeless guy." And I would say, "There's a reason that he's homeless. Everybody has a story. You know, they're not just homeless just because." So that was something I tried to teach them early on in life.
And we had that. Hang on.
Are you getting an Amazon delivery?
Yes, UPS. It's UPS. Yeah. It was funny. I was talking to Patty about that this morning about, now I lost my train of thought. Thanks, dog. we were talking about. Yeah. I mean, it's like in 100 years, are you going to even be, don't you want something remembered of you, I guess?
Yeah. Right.
It'd be nice. Like, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know about your kids, but my kids are still young enough that I don't know. I don't know if there's any sentimentality towards me. Does that mean, if I died tomorrow, do you feel like if you died tomorrow, would your kids miss you, or do you think, I don't know. Have you ever wanted to see your funeral, or do you want to see how people react if you're gone?
Yes. I have. And Shaylee, our youngest, I have asked her. I mean, she's 19 now. This was a few years ago. And I don't even remember how we got on the subject of death, but I asked her, "Would you miss me if I was dead?" And she just said, "Well, you'll just be dead." She just had no like emotional attachment to the thought that I could be forever gone.
Right.
And she just was like, "You'd just be dead." Like it wasn't that big of a deal. So
I think the impact comes later. Even though our kids talk tough. Even though our kids talk tough, like, "Oh, if you were gone, but I don't know. You would like to think that you've made, even with your own kids, you've made some impact.
Right. I think the 3 older boys would miss me, and that would have an effect on them and their lives, especially now that Benjamin is about to become a parent.
Yeah.
Then like he's really realizing, which this is a funny story. So they came over this last weekend when Matthew was home, not to get off the subject, but and he and Haley, his wife, were talking about how I cried at his middle school graduation, and we had watched videos of him growing up. And it's funny because he just has like this blank stare when somebody's asking him a question and he doesn't answer. And they got the biggest kick out of that because he just wasn't the brightest bulb in the pack, basically. And so it kind of clicked.
Right.
He and his wife were talking and he's like, "Oh, now I know why my mom was crying at my middle school graduation." It's like, yeah, because I was just happy we made it. Now we just got to get through high school. Yay. Like, so those things don't become clear to you, I think, until you have your own children or you go through something similar to make it really real or resonate with you. Because otherwise you're just like, my mom was just crying at my middle school graduation. Right. No big deal.
Well, I think that what's interesting is I've always said, anytime I've discovered somebody, especially having their first child, and you've heard me even talk about this, if a child change, period, your life, even with our buddy who's a narcissist. We have a buddy who's a narcissist. It's okay. He's a narcissist. We love him dearly. But when his daughter was born, and I warned him, I said, when that daughter comes along, when that baby comes along, you're not the center of the universe. And I'll be shocked if if you are. When you have, and same with you have 4 kids, but when that first child comes along, your universe resets. And now you age yourself by your kids. You're not aging by you. You're looking at your kid like you're going, "Oh, my kid's 30 now. My kid's 35. My kids are my kid. I'm a grandparent. No, I'm going to be a grandparent." I mean, you start seeing your life through the lens of those people. Yep. It's absolutely fascinating. To me, it's absolutely fascinating.
Yep.
And I always find it interesting that even the most narcissistic me person, once they have that first kid, if in their hearts of heart, if they're good, they'll flip on a dime and that kid becomes their life.
Right. But a lot of times it doesn't.
It just depends. I'm always amazed. I'm always amazed on Facebook and on Insta and on the content creator universe that we live in. and I love when people say, I'm never going to have kids, blah, 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 blah. And you see their Facebook to where it's all party, 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 party. Then the baby comes. And suddenly it's this incredible shift of life to where all eyes. I have a friend. She lives in Indiana, and up until her son was born, it was her two dogs like all the time. And I would see George and I would see Finley all the time. Suddenly, when Riley was born, guess what? I'm like, are the dogs still with us?
Did we get rid of the dogs? What happened to the dogs?
Where's the dogs? Where are the dogs? Because from that moment on, it's like, oh, hey, Riley. And I never saw the dogs again. And now they have a daughter too. So Finley passed away. I do know Finley passed away, but George is still with him. But it still made me laugh that up until that moment, it was all dog. And then suddenly, now it's suddenly nothing but kid.
Yeah.
And it really changes you. So Benjamin, this is going to change Benjamin. It changed my life. Not that I was ever that way, but it did change it to where you're not so me. Everything you do is for your kid.
Right.
I've always talked about going to major market radio. Logan is the reason why I didn't go to major market radio, because it was like I wanted to be near him. And so I've made choices based on his location.
Right. It's the same reason why I didn't want to move up the radio ladder and drag my kids all over the country and instead just be part-time in Yakima, because this is where all our family are. They grew up right next door to grandma and grandpa. So, it's a choice that you make. And I gave up that goal to get to a major market like you did for them so that they could have a better life. It's just things you do. And
you look back and you it's like you just can't have any regrets. I know it's hard. A lot of people will do that, like, I coulda, woulda, shoulda. And I have always felt things fall into place for a reason. I don't believe some higher powers moving things around. I just believe that in the end, things work out the way they're supposed to work out. And then it's up to you yourself, your own personal attitude about how you handle all these different things. For me, growing up poor, I'm just happy to be where I'm at today. I could not have, and I'm middle class, but I also look at all that I've got and realize how thankful I am, because all I ever want to do was able to buy some comic books and have a roof over my head. Well, I achieved that. So, coming from poverty, coming from way behind, because remember, we're sprinting, like we joke about, we sprinted from behind. It wasn't given to us like people that we knew that were just born into it.
Right. We're negative 1,000% compared to people, other people.
So it's like, when I look at my life and I'm squarely in the middle class, and it's like, but wouldn't you have wanted to be rich and all that? Well, those weren't the cards that were dealt, but I made do with what I was dealt with to the best of my ability. And I think that's all you can, at the end of the day, that's all you can really do. I'm super excited for Benjamin and Haley. I think it's amazing. It just changes your perspective. I would like to think if you have kids, you become a better human.
Right, which he's already like an exceptional little human. He's an adult now. I shouldn't say little, but he's going to make an exceptional dad. My friend, when she found out that they were having a kid, she said, like, I couldn't think of any perfect two people to have a kid. They're going to be the best parents. And I think as his parent myself, that is probably the utmost compliment ever, is knowing that somebody thinks your child is going to be the best parent because of who he is as a person. So I feel like I did my job. I did something right. So hopefully,
and when you hear, and that is part of that legacy that lives on. I remember years ago, I'd gotten an inbox message from my Facebook from a friend that I went to high school with, and Logan was working at the Dollar Tree in Clarkston, And my son is so cynical, and he's never seen, you can't have, I mean, you just can't have at least with me, he doesn't give me he's always, very sarcastic. And so I got this nice letter from this gal who was in line at Dollar Tree. He goes, hey, by the way, I ran into Logan at Dollar Tree. He was the kindest, nicest. And he goes, I saw him over there helping a little old lady pick out a birthday card or something while he was on. Now, if I talk to Logan about that, he's like, I didn't do that.
Yes.
I hate old people. I hate them all.
That's how Shaylee would, Shaylee would totally deny something like that.
Right. He denies it. He's like, but for me, when I got that letter, that was the greatest feeling, knowing that, I raised a good human being, even though he won't show it to me. He does show it to other people. And so that you like, okay, I did the job. At least I did the best job that I possibly could. So he still gets on my case because he wasn't born rich. So we go around and around about that all the time. It's like, why couldn't have been born rich? Well, I said, but rich does not always get you.
No, it's just different problems or the same problems, just with more money.
I'd take that any day of the week. I wish I was born into wealth as well. But that, again, it comes down to the cards you're dealt, and then how you play them out, how you handle all of that. And it's a crazy world, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, we totally jumped off the tracks on that one.
Well, celebrities. I mean, again, it's sad to see
celebrity deaths.
Sad to see the celebrities. Those are big celebrities. And again, I was just curious if you'd ever cried. I have not officially ever cried. I'll be curious if I ever do in the future. If there's going to be some celebrity that truly impacts me, I'm bummed. I guess when I say, that's a bummer.
Well, yeah, both of them. I think Malcolm Jamal Warner, like I said, was shocking. Ozzy, not so much. His health wasn't great. My thought after Ozzy is, oh gosh, celebrity deaths usually come in threes.
Yep, that's it. Yep.
So who's going to be next? That's my fear. Oh no, who's going to be next?
And before we get off celebrity deaths, what has really become crap is the fake ones all on the AI generated.
Hate that.
Because Patty was a couple days ago, did Sally Field pass away? I'm like, no, Sally Field didn't pass away. Well, it popped up in my feed, and people are doing that to get clicks. They're like,
which I had to verify that Ozzy was really dead, because at first I thought the same thing. Oh, this is just a hoax. This isn't real. This is one of those so and so died and they didn't really die kind of things that happens all the time. So
yeah. So and if it's on TMZ, guess what? They're gone.
It's real.
Gotta give it to TMZ, man. They nail it all.
That's hilarious that we gauge celebrity deaths being real off of TMZ. People get paid. Well, you already know they get paid. Oh yes.
Like paparazzi sit around at what is it, Cedar Sinai? Cedar Sinai is the big Los Angeles where all the celebs are at. So they got paparazzi swarming there. When they see you come in on the stretcher, they're like, shit, here's Tony Bennett on the stretcher. TMZ, yeah, I think Tony Bennett's gonna die. I don't want to make fun of it, light of any of that, but yeah, it's like, God, piranha, right? Piranha.
Yeah. Can you imagine if he's the next celebrity to go and you just predicted it? That'd
Tony
be so
Bennett's
crazy.
Dead. He's dead.
Is he?
Yeah.
No. Doesn't he have Alzheimer's? When did he die?
Tony Bennett's gone.
Is he dead?
He is. Of course he is.
He's the one that sang with Lady Gaga, right?
Yeah.
When did he die?
He's been gone. 2023. Today. Yesterday, actually.
Oh, 2 years. I'm like, when did he die? I knew he had Alzheimer's.
He had a great life, though.
Oh yeah, he did. So
he had amazing life. How old was he?
I missed the old Tenny Bent.
I thought he was 100 or something. Oh, he was in his 90s. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was in his 90s. But for me, I guess Betty White would have been, if you're talking, he was 96. But if you're talking Betty White,
she was 99, right?
Yeah, I think, she just barely. I guess Dick Van Dyke. I love Dick Van Dyke.
Mm-hmm. He's still alive, though, right?
Yep. He's getting close to. He's getting close to 100, real close. So, but there are still some great celebs out there that are good people. It's going to bother people.
Oh yeah. Well, damn, I don't know how I missed Tony Bennett dying.
You missed Tony Bennett. So I don't feel so bad. You're like, what? Blasphemy.
I was like, wait, what?
He's been dead for 2 years.
No, he wasn't. He's not died. What are you talking about?
And he was another one who just did a Gaga duet.
Yeah, which is probably in my mind. Yeah. I'm still picturing him alive with her.
Right.
Because they did that whole. Yeah, they did that whole
shortly after. Yeah, passed away shortly after.
They did that. Right? Yeah, they were doing like a 60 minutes thing about how music helps people with Alzheimer's and blah 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 blah. So in my mind, he has never died. He's
think
still
a couple
singing with Lady Gaga.
I think a couple big ones. Willie Nelson's still with us. Willie will be a big one. Yeah. William Shatner, Captain Kirk is still with us. 93, 94. So there are some pretty big celebrities still with us. And again, we just judge our own mortality by that, because like Malcolm is our age. Like, oh dang,
yes,
dang,
we all grew up together basically.
Yeah. That puts it into reality for us. Like, okay, this we're not getting any younger, Michelle.
No, but I don't want to be reminded of that. I mean, I guess we should, because then
go out my 3 ways and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, which is funny because Jay, like the sex one, I mean, I'm going to have to mark us explicit again anyway. It's fine. The sex one, that's what he always joked, how he wants to die is having sex. And it's like, well, I don't want you to die on top of me. Like, what? Like
this is not, you're heavy. Get up. This bastard.
Is not going to be great for me. like what?
I think you can say the sex word on a podcast. I think you're good.
You can, yes. But I'll probably, so when I upload us to all these different, podcast choices for everybody, whether it's Spotify, Apple, blah, 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 you have to check whether you're explicit. And depending on what we say, what cuss words we talk about, sex, all kinds of stuff, then I have to click that.
Yeah.
Because of it. But it's fine. I don't care.
I was interested when we uploaded Logan's albums many, many years ago. He had a couple songs where he had cuss words in it, like just 1 or 2. And I thought, well, is this explicit or not? And so we decided not to put it up because it's a cuss word. So does a song? Okay, great example. Does a cuss word in a song make it explicit? Like if you say damn or hell in a song.
I would think yes.
It's interesting that you think that. For me, I'm good with damn or hell or any of that. Now, the new Sabrina Carpenter, which I love, Manchild, she goes F my life. Okay, well that would be explicit to me. But if she said damn, damn, I don't know if I would consider that explicit.
Well, and the needle has moved as far as that kind of stuff goes compared to just a few years ago. I mean, yeah, I remember hearing Jay-Z's Can I Get a What? Okay, because that was a clean version that we would play on the radio. Right. And then I heard it on satellite radio, the real song. Yeah. Basically, what we were playing on pop radio wasn't even the real song. And I couldn't believe it. I thought it was the same song. I'm like going, what in the world? This is crazy.
Well, even from because even the Sabrina Carpenter Espresso song, she changed the lyrics for the radio edit because that's not the real lyrics. So you're like, wow. And so, can you imagine being parents? I remember when Fetty Wap was big, and I remember that there was a song that was on the radio, and then Fetty Wap, and Kyron was into Fetty Wap, and he popped it in. Oh, I want to hear Fetty Wap, and his mom's listening, and she goes, "What the is this?" And he wasn't allowed. Yeah, it was like, no, you're not going to listen. I remember the first time Logan and I were driving around Akon, and so he pops it in, and he's in high school, and it has the N word.
Oh,
because it's Akon. It's Akon. I said, oh no, you don't. He goes, and he started singing. I'm like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Because what do you do? Those are the lyrics. I'm like, no, you don't.
That doesn't matter.
But it's the
they
same.
Could sing that. They could say that word and sing that word, but you cannot. I know,
but it's the same thing as Nelly. If you listen to Nelly or any of that stuff, you're like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think what we just said is not explicit. Just throwing it out there.
Yeah, I mean, Shaylee was 5, and Britney Spears' "I Want to Go All the Way" was playing on the radio, and she's in the back seat. I I want to go all the
jeez.
way.
See? What do
And
you
I'm
do?
going, oh my God, please don't sing that in kindergarten. Please do not go and sing this in kindergarten.
Well, I remember many years ago, I got a call from Tri-Cities when I was working in Yakima, where Katy Perry's Menage a Trois was in the middle of the song. Like, we can't air this. I'm like, no one's gonna ask. They're like, what do you do? I said, worst case scenario, just reverse it, so it's just garbled. But I said, no one. Well, what if someone's? It's on the school bus. Someone's gonna go, what? Anyway, yeah.
I mean, speaking of, we talked about George Michael. Remember, I Want Your Sex? We could only play it after 10 p.m. at night. It couldn't be played any earlier during the day.
That song is so tame.
Like now.
It's so tame. I remember the skating rink when I worked at the skating rink, you couldn't play it. Radio did not play it until after like 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
like back
we
when
couldn't play
it was a hit.
After 10. Yep.
I will give you credit. That Faith album for me is quintessential.
It's an exceptional
album.
Yeah,
I Want Your Sex was for the longest time one of my favorite songs off that album. I love that song. I love that album. But I think about all those great albums: Def Leppard, Hysteria, George Michael, Faith. There's so many great albums right in that Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. We had I'm sorry, kids. We had the best albums. We still do.
They're recycling our music.
Yes, they are.
The little hooks of all the songs that were popular when we were growing up now.
But I'm still jamming. I still love my Sabrina Carpenter. I love my Joe Burgers. I mean, there's a lot of great artists.
Benson Boone.
There's a ton of great. I'm a top 40 kid, so to me, I like to hear the new top 40 music and the new songs. Oh, there's a great song. Is it Lola Young or Lola Young? And the song is called Messy.
I was just gonna say, is that the Messy song?
That's
I
great
like that
song
too.
Yeah. It's like I'm a little bit messy and all that. It's Lola Young. I love that. What is it? Rowan Chapel. Love that.
Chapel Rowan.
Pink Pony Club.
Yeah. That's a good jam.
That's my jam.
Yes.
I like songs like that. So I like top 40. Grew up
Me
on
too.
it.
I still listen to it, even though some of the words I can't understand what they're saying now.
Yeah, you don't want to hear the album version, I guess.
No, I don't. I'd be shocked. I'd be Jay-Z shocked. Basically.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Now that we've talked about deaths like crazy and all kinds of stuff.
How are you going to pick this up? How are you gonna pep this baby up?
Well, I did want to touch on the Stephen Colbert thing because I think it really, we've talked about how we've gotten in trouble for reading a story about Pepsi or Coke or whatever. And then locally, we've gotten in trouble with the regional Pepsi Coke distributors and, gotten called in and talked to and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of the same, just in a whole bigger light, basically. Stephen Colbert is one of the top rated late night shows. So why are you giving him the boot other than this deal that you want to push through? And that was part of the deal, was he's got to go because he's making fun of people about it.
I'll be you say your piece, and then I think I'm actually going to be devil's advocate on this one.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
at least my viewpoint of it.
I totally think that was part of the deal or the arrangement or the shaking the hands, backdoor deal, whatever you want to call it. Like, well, this guy has to go because he makes fun of me. I don't like it. So in order for this to go through with the FCC, you gotta get rid of him, kind of thing. That's what I think happened.
Okay. So again, I love Stephen Colbert. Absolutely. 100%. I like Jimmy Fallon. I like, Jimmy Kimmel. I like them all. Conan, all that. I look at it. I really think, humbly, I submit to the court. You can deny this. I really think streaming has changed everything. If there was ever a radio killed the video star, I think the cost of running that show late night, even though it still does well, I mean, they cancel shows now that are 6 or 7 million people. If it's 6 or 7 million, they'll cancel especially CBS. Well, CBS especially, your SWAT TV show or whatever they are, they're still doing well in the ratings, but the cost to produce it they're just like, this isn't worth it to do it anymore. So for Stephen Colbert, I'm a big Stephen Colbert fan. If you're talking my favorite late night guy right now, it's absolutely Stephen Colbert. And I loved him on The Daily Show. I like Jon Stewart. I like all of that. I, for once, am actually going to say, I think streaming. Same with movies right now. I think movies outside of your big, blockbusters, and they're not blockbusters anymore. Like they all wish
not
they had,
compared to the old days.
Right. They wish they had $1 billion movie. Now it takes everything it's got to even make 600 million. And that, again, that's still so much money. It's insane. And I think that bean counters get in there. I think corporate people get in there, and they gotta. For me, I really believe it's all about how can I get my raise. And I truly,
the shareholders and the board.
Yep,
they all get the money.
I do, absolutely. I believe number one, more than anything else, before they sell it, the goal is to drive stock price and to get, make the bottom line attractive. So Stephen Colbert, besides all the stuff that he says, is a casualty of that. They're like, well, we're already, we might as well just make this change. And I think late night, I say 5 years from now, I think late night will go away. I don't think those shows, even from the other stations, I don't think it'll exist, because once you and I both know, because we've been in radio a long time, once somebody does something, everybody else follows.
Right.
Like, and because what they'll do with Nielsen is they'll go, okay, what are the ratings now that Stephen Colbert's gone? Oh, they're exactly the same as they were. Well, then NBC goes, well, you know what, Jimmy Fallon, I don't need you. And then ABC goes, Jimmy Kimmel, I don't need you. Because if the ratings don't deviate, they'll dance the jig.
Right, because they should both go up for both of them, because where are those viewers going to go now? So,
well, but so it'll be curious. Now, if it plummets, then it'll be late night with so and so. Somebody else will be there because they realize it's too much of a revenue hit. But if they lose no revenue from getting rid of Stephen Colbert, the other late night shows, oh wow, we don't need, because they still, they make what, 12 million, 20. I mean, they still get paid a lot of money.
Right, which I think Stephen Colbert's show brought in like 116 million in ad revenue. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what I heard. Right. So,
well, and again, it's a number. It's
a lot of money.
Game. It's a numbers game.
But it also takes like 200 people to do the make show. One of those shows. Right. Yeah,
it's insane. Yeah. I couldn't imagine that kind of. Man, I couldn't imagine that. So, and again, we're working in radio where we just had a couple layoffs in our building. We're still seeing layoffs. So, and it's all about getting that. Again, it's all about getting that stock price up for the stockholders. Sad. The listener's best interest is not in the stockholders' best interest. And to think that it is, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Even from a radio standpoint, we used to be very proud of being live and local. And and we make a lot of excuses for not being local these days. You have one, well, but we have one DJ on the station. Okay, wow,
and that's how they justify being local.
Yeah. I mean, or not even live, their voice track. So because remember, we're peeling the veil behind this away.
Yes, which we talked about
that DJs are not 24/7 and they're not live in the studios. I mean, I do a live morning show. I'm very grateful to do that, but it's not the norm.
Right.
So I think Devil's Advocate, I think it was their excuse to get rid of Stephen Colbert. That was their out.
It probably sped up the process. I think I do agree with you. Legacy, like radio, TV, how we consume media, all that. And I say in a few years, that it will all be completely different. And so, I think it just sped up that because they want this merger to happen.
From an AI standpoint, we were just talking about there's a radio company, one of the major radio companies is going to use AI. So the big voice guy you hear between the songs, we talked about it in previous podcasts, the person that's in between the music, not the DJ, they're going to have AI. And so just think about that. Each of those stations that are on it in America, let's just say hypothetically, some VO guy, voiceover guy gets paid $400 a month to do that. Times that by 500 stations. That's how much the company saves by just doing AI. And that is around the corner.
Right.
And AI is
And
getting
all
better
those,
and better.
yes. And all those voice over guys are going to lose their jobs.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And the newest toy we're getting that I guess in a couple weeks is there's an AI program that we can talk to ourselves basically. So I can record myself going, hey, I want to, a great example is, hey, I want to win some Maroon 5 tickets. I put me saying that into this AI thing, and I could be female, I could be male, I could be whoever. And so when I'm on there, I'm like 98.3 The Key, Rik Mikals with you. Hey, how can I win Maroon 5 tickets? It's me talking to myself, but the voice has changed. That's going to be the new toy.
So basically,
so
we don't need those.
I don't even need phone callers.
Right. I was just going to say, you don't need these actors and actresses for, when we talked about like the second day update, all that stuff that's on the radio that is all actors. And now you have AI that could do that. That is crazy.
Yeah. So because remember back when we were on the air, you have to have a lot of phones. Remember, I'm sure you got that crap.
Yes. Oh God.
Oh, you need phones. Every break needs to be a phoner. Okay. Well, sometimes, trust me, there was not good phoners, or it was a slow day, especially during summer.
That's what I was going to say. Not all of them are good, and even trying to chop them up to make them sound good sometimes was impossible.
Well, now you can ask the topic and give yourself the answer.
That is so weird. It's going to be so weird. Okay, well, when you can make yourself female, when you get this new little toy, like I want to hear this.
Yeah. So Woody a while back, he has a production tool that does it, and for the heck of it, Patty and I both sent some VO to him, and he turned me into a female, and for some radio commercial.
How did you sound?
It sounded like a girl. I mean, some people accuse me of sounding like a girl, but no,
you don't sound like a girl.
It definitely sounded, yeah. You can't tell the difference. I mean, it's going to get better. AI is going to get better.
Right. Which I was going to ask, because, with some of the AI art and pictures, you can tell it has that.
Oh my gosh.
Touch to it. And so that was going to be my question. Like, okay, that's why I was asking how well you sounded as a female. Can you tell? Is it like the pictures that we're seeing, which are going to get better?
They are
as AI grows and learns.
Right now, one of the number one bands on Spotify is Velvet Sun. The band is called Velvet Sundown. It loaded up 2 albums a few weeks ago. It's number one on Spotify, and they discovered, guess what? It was all AI generated.
Yeah, I read about that, and I had to go. Yeah. I had to go listen.
And I went and heard the song, and I went, "Wow!" That song is actually not bad.
Yeah, so did
I. If you like that kind of music, that's a whole album of that. So are we going to that future to where you don't even need real musicians or performers anymore too, on top of?
Probably. And that's, why during the writer's strike that they wanted it in there, that they weren't going to use AI to write these show scripts and stories and movie scripts. And they saw the writing on the wall.
Yeah.
So
it just, if you're in a creative field, it changes everything. And so I'll be curious to see what that does. Now, right now, I mean, it's not perfected, but give it 5 years.
Oh yeah.
People, and then it comes down to how are people can consume it. Are they, if people are all in on AI, then you're shit out of luck. That will be the new accepted. It's the same thing as when, again, go back to Walmart when Walmart moved into town. It's like, well, I'll still go to Jim's Hardware to buy my $8 hammer, and Walmart's got it at $4. And people go, I'm never going to Walmart. Well, now they all go to Walmart. They all go to Costco. They all go to the big box stores because Jim's Hardware could not have everything.
Right.
And so people change.
Oh, definitely.
So,
which my thought is kind of the same, especially because, everybody wants real content, real this, real whatever. Well, AI is not real. So how is that going to mesh with that happening? Which I feel like because so many influencers, everything is filtered and fake, and, you can rent out houses for all these influencers and make it look like that's really their house when that's not really where they live. And so we live in this world where everything that you consume could be fake, and now everybody is hungry for real things. But how is AI going to play into that? Because it's not real at all, one single bit. So
well, I think YouTube is doing a good thing, which I actually salute YouTube on this. They're demonetizing anything that's AI. If you're not real, it's they've caught up, thank goodness, or they're going to start policing it to where the content has to be like you and I right now. This is this is real. As bad as it is, it's at least real. It's not. I am not I am a real person. So
that's how you know this is real, because how bad we are.
I was thinking about it. Was like, so I was thinking about you and me or anybody else.
Oh no.
I have such a unique delivery. But how could you replicate? There are some people that are just unique sounding.
Yes.
So it's like but I'm like, you never know. AI could replicate me in 5 years.
I was gonna say, I'm sure AI can learn. Well,
can learn, like, exactly. You know, so they got it right with Terminator. Like, AI's AI's coming. But for our colleagues in the business, it'll be interesting to see how much more. And this whole illusion, I'm going to throw it out there right now. This illusion to think that you're going to go back the way you came is an illusion.
What?
It's like, so there might be, like, down the road a backlash from AI, but they're not going to restaff radio stations with full talent and all that. That's just never, because that's been the big dream. You go on these radio groups and they're all like, that all Mon Paws are going to come back and buy all the radio stations, and it's going to be live. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't know that was. I'm not in these forums.
That's the big dream that iHeart goes bankrupt, or all of them go bankrupt, and Mon Paws, somebody in Yakima is going to want to buy the stations, and then they're going to suddenly staff up with all live disc jockeys. It doesn't work that way. You never go back the way you came.
No, I mean, it might just be a placeholder for where it currently is, but it isn't going to go back to the way it was completely.
Yeah.
With 24-hour live DJs. Won't ever go back to that, ever.
Actually,
that's crazy.
At the end, sadly, it'll be less and less. Always will be less.
Yeah.
And if you're lucky to do it, then you're lucky to do it. So again, knock on wood, happy to do it. But again, I also know what's around the bend. And I've always told people that, hey, if it ended today, so be it. I mean, my son and I had this conversation, and he was like, Dad, I'm really worried about you, Dad. And I said, why? And he goes, radio's irrelevant, and you're going to be gone. You're going to lose your job someday. What are you going to do when you're 60 years old? Well, I said, son, I will work. He's like, what do you mean? I go to work. And he goes, but not radio. I'm like, I'm capable of doing other things. I said, I did things before I did radio. So not that I want to go do those things, but it made me laugh, though. He was worried about my longevity.
Sweet.
Yes, he's like, and I get it. I've got, if I'm lucky, I've got 10 more years left. If I'm lucky.
I mean, I was gonna say 10 might be pushing it. Like,
might be pushing it. I might, but if anybody could do it,
it's gonna be you. You're gonna be the last one in that radio station. You better put your money down on Rik. Right? You know that. Yes. Are we betting on this now that you're going to be $50 in 10 years? You're going to be the last one at the radio station.
Yep. You better bet it. You better put
or is it going to happen sooner?
Now. Yeah. So, well, celebrity, we bounced like a ball today.
We did, yeah. We didn't even get to Jeffrey Epstein yet either.
Oh, yeah. Do you want? Okay.
That was on my list. I mean, we're sitting at like almost an hour, so.
Do you want to? Okay, so I mean.
So I don't know if we want to dive into this now. I mean, if we do, we can't go on these tyrants and down all these little rabbit holes that we go down if we do. So
I say on both sides, if there is a list, release the list. That's just so stupid.
Right. It makes no sense to me why the Republicans in the House voted not to release the list if there is a list, and now they went home for recess early so that they couldn't keep bringing these up to vote.
Of course.
And now David Blanche is going to go visit Ghislaine, whatever her name is, in prison, which Bill Barr went to go visit Jeffrey Epstein before he killed himself. So that's a little iffy right there. And my question is, why is there 3 minutes missing from the original Jeffrey Epstein prison video? And their excuse is, well, that's how the system resets itself or whatever they said. I'm sorry, what prison or jail system has that where you're missing 3 minutes of video every day so that the system can reset or whatever it's doing? None of this makes any sense whatsoever. And I feel like they don't, if there is a list, that they don't want to release it, the House Republicans anyway, because people live they live off this conspiracy that this list is out there, and if they do release something that there isn't names or there is names, then that all just goes away. And what is the next conspiracy going to be? Like, this feeds those people. Does that make sense?
Meat. It's the red meat. So that's what they live by. And we were talking about how do you want to live your life? Do you want to live your life with red meat in your daily diet, just period, all the time? I think the goal in life is to be a better human being. And so would I be shocked by anybody on the nothing? I guess the older I get, nothing shocks me. So and I've always been in the camp that I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. If you're a criminal, your ass should be in jail.
Exactly.
Period. That's it. Plain and simple. I don't give a crap about your political leanings. And so this, the ridiculousness of this, Trump just put up the Obama getting arrested for the Epstein list or whatever. This meme on this, you are a sitting president. You should be and again, but they eat. I mean, I could go on for hours now. I won't do that.
Well,
but
they're saying that, right, that it was the Obama did the okay for the Russian investigation. Well, he was president. And so based on the Supreme Court, that he's immune based off of their decision. It was a presidential decision in his job. So that makes him immune to whatever you want to say, regardless of if it's true or not. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter.
They live off of that. They live off of that. I think, truthfully, at the end of the day, and I liked him. I think he's great. Probably one of our most boring presidents was Obama. Like, there were like zero scandals. Zero.
Oh, no. The tan suit.
Oh,
remember?
Oh, yeah.
Wearing a tan suit.
Right. That was, oh, yeah. How dare he wear a tan suit? I remember
that's
that.
all they had on this man. Like,
but they've been trying to pin anything and everything on him.
Yes.
And again, they zilch, zero. So to me, it's like I'm in the camp of put up or shut up. If this list is out there, I mean, but they're obsessed with it. They're obsessed with it. And if the list didn't exist, why did you vote for it not to be released?
Yeah. It makes no sense to me. Like I said, they're either doing that because they know, if there is not a list, then their base that lives off of these conspiracy theories, what are they going to live off of now? Like,
again, going back to when Trump was on the bus with Billy Bush and grabbed him by the hoo-ha, that should have been it.
Oh yeah, or making fun of that disabled reporter.
Any of that. So even like, I tried to make a move on her, but she was married. All of that should have disqualified you, but it won't. Even John McCain. That I like people who don't get captured. You never served. John McCain is a hero. I don't care if he's a Republican or not. John McCain's a hero.
Right. And, I had so much respect for John McCain when
absolutely.
He put that lady in her place when he was campaigning against Obama.
Yep. Yeah. And he goes, he's a good man.
Yep.
We don't agree, but he's a good man. That's my kind of Republican. When you're asking,
and they would
for
have
my kind
lunch
of Republican,
together.
Yeah.
Like, I loved hearing that they would have lunch together after Obama was president and McCain was a sitting senator, and they would meet for lunch. And to me, that's how the democracy is supposed to work. We're supposed to have those disagreements, but at the end of the day, we should all be able to come together and talk. and not hate each other. Like now it's like, I hate you kind of mentality.
No, it's ridiculous. And the same, even going back to the Bush and Clinton relationship, they're best buddies. Right. And Jenna Bush was talking about, goes, and you see them when they come together for a funeral.
Mm-hmm. They're joking around.
Guess who they don't go near? They don't. Republicans and the Democrats. I mean, so it's like it's just weird. I mean, and it's a cult and they're crazy. I remember when James Mattis, who was the big general, who's from Richland, Washington. He's from here. He's from Tri-Cities, and he disavowed Trump. And I remember hearing down the hallway from the conservative radio station, he's a traitor. Hang James Mattis. I mean, the guy is from our town. He's from Richland. And people down the hallway were screaming, he's a traitor. He's betrayed us. What? Are you that much of a cult leader? Are you that much of a cultist that somebody who's from your own hometown who goes, this guy's not good?
Right. Or even saying, hang him, which again, right. I've heard people, my friends that have friends, and I've heard the other person on the phone, and they are talking about the liberal snowflakes and how I can't wait for them to die and, stuff like that. And in my mind, I'm thinking there's no way that you can rationalize with this person that, we're the same. We're not the same because that person wants to see me dead based off of my beliefs or what I think. And I don't think the same about that person. My thought is like, we live in a country where we can have differing views on politics, but not want to kill each other based off of it. Like, to me, that was shocking to hear that. This was a couple years ago. And it really brought to light that, okay, we are not the same people at all when it comes to this kind of stuff. And
my mind is blown because for me, songs like God Bless the USA, love that. Daryl Worley's Have You Forgotten? I mean, these are all powerful songs to me. I love these songs. You know what I'm saying? And in my hearts of heart, I'm incredibly patriotic, and I stand behind our service people and the work that they do, and the sacrifices they make. Some gave all. Billy Ray Cyrus. I'm thinking of all these great songs. But because I didn't vote for your dude, I should be hung. Yeah, like that's the stupidest. Crazy. That's the dumbest crap I've ever heard in my entire life. Or because you and I don't see eye to eye, I'm not patriotic, or I don't stand behind our troops. That's the dumbest crap I've ever. I've never heard. I've never understood that mentality. I don't live by that mentality. It's like so stupid. So yes, I released the Epstein list. I'm not going to be shocked. If Clinton's on there, great. If Trump's on there, great. I'm just saying.
If they say like Bill Gates is on there. Well, if he is,
there,
then
it would not shock me. No one, I don't care who's on there. But if that list exists, get it out in the world because they're criminals and people need to know about it. But then again, president's a criminal, so
34 felonies.
34 felonies. So I mean, and again, but I don't sit with the cultists and try to convince them. You're never going to convince them any different. And I always I love this line someone told me a few years back was, the only opinion you care about is that your opinion is coming out of my mouth. So it's like, if you and I disagree, then you don't care about my opinion. Now, if you and I are saying the same thing, oh, you love that. So yes, release. Yes. I don't know what they're hiding. Release it. It's so stupid. All of that to me just drives me nuts. Do you think it actually exists? Do you think it's a real list?
I didn't at first, but I do. There has to be some kind of maybe not necessarily a list, but
there's a client list. There's a black book.
Which Jeffrey Epstein's black book had like 10 different phone numbers for Donald Trump in it.
Sure. That
he could be reached at. It's just stuff like that it's like, okay, well, And why aren't they talking to all these victims? Like, all these victims know who the clients were. They can give them all the details. They should be talking to them, not Ghislaine or whatever her name is in jail. The victims know all the people that they had to deal with and what happened to them, and those should be.
You're dealing with powerful, rich people.
Yes.
Go back to Bill Cosby. Go back to any of those situations. Money. The most crazy thing about money is money buys you a lot. I remember seeing a great interview with Lisa Marie Presley with Michael Jackson, and she was talking about she really loved Michael, and she says, but you don't understand what it's like to be married to somebody where no one says no to. Period. When you're that wealthy, right, everybody says yes. And you live in a bubble. And you live in a bubble. You live in a bubble. So you're so wealthy and you live in a bubble and no one tells you no. That's the fantasy. That's not the reality of the world. That's the fantasy. So I think when it comes to these poor victims and this situation, this does the talking.
Right. Which, if you look at Jeffrey Epstein's original sentence, it was only 13 months because he cut that deal. Of
course he did.
Like, you or I, like, if that would have happened and we would have had a public defender, we would have been put away for, life. I mean, that's just the facts of it. But because he was well connected and had all this money, that's how he was cut this deal. So,
yes, wealth has privileges. And the ultra wealthy, which you cannot comprehend, I couldn't even imagine what
$50 million wedding.
Oh, any of Italy. That stuff. So but I'm also like, if they're criminals, they're criminals, and I don't care. Again, I'll go back to my original statement. I don't care if you're Democrat or Republican, independent, whatever. You're a piece of shit. You go to jail.
Right. Yeah. Why haven't any of these men gone to jail? That's been my question all along. Before
it's amazing how men get off all the time. It's just amazing.
Hubbub.
Men are treated different than women. Plain and simple.
Definitely. Yeah.
Plain and simple.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that ends at some point in our lifetime.
Probably won't.
Anytime soon.
Sad but true. It probably will not end in our lifetime.
Yep. Well, on that happy note, we can probably end our podcast.
Was that a happy note? All right.
No, that's sarcastic. That's Logan sarcasm.
That's
right there.
Logan sarcasm. There you go.
I don't know if that is Logan sarcasm. Anyway. All right. Well, thank you all so much for listening to Rik and That Michelle Chick.